I prayed every morning for my son Jonathan, and I prayed for his friends. And when we met together as a group, I had them divided into two teams. There were 6 of us, so I had them divided into 2 teams of 3, prayer triplets. And they would pray for one another in our discipleship group. And then I encouraged them to begin to pray at school like that over their lunch period. And they took that challenge, and they began to do that. And they began to pray that God would give the people in their Christian school a real desire for Christ. And in Jonathan's sophomore year, they began to pray like that over lunch every day. Well, over that year, nothing of significance happened. There was nothing that took place that was dramatic in any way, or any way you could say, wow, that was an awesome answer to prayer. But the first week they were back in school, their junior year, the whole class went on this retreat. And when we went on the retreat, and I had the privilege of being on that retreat, when we were on that retreat, before the parents could even get to the bonfire on the first night, the kids had already gathered around that bonfire, and they were confessing their sins to one another. They were reconciling relationships with one another. They were praying for one another in a time around that fire that lasted for over 3 hours. And it was the beginning, a significant change took place in that class that night, and it was the beginning of something new and fresh that God began to do in that school. And those students went back in all kinds of different ways, really impacted their class and their friends and the school as a whole. At the beginning of their senior year, they had the opportunity to have the first chapel in the year. And in that chapel, the seniors, they were now seniors, the seniors actually washed the 8th graders' feet. Now, when a senior even recognizes the existence of an 8th grader, you've got a miracle on your hands, much less washing their feet. And one of the things that took place at that school over that couple of years was that the entire environment of that school completely changed as a result of the answers to some prayers that were prayed by Dad and a few kids that really impacted and changed the look of the whole school.